Alright guys, we're now going to do numbers 30 to 35. 31. Yeah, from 30 to 35. That's going to be 6. And then starting from then on, we'll do 5 at a time. That way I can keep everything managed, keep the time down around 10 minutes. Alright. This one here, our app should have an input element of type text, creating a text field. Input, let's see. I just had to reset my code because everything was gone and I don't know how it left. So here we go. That's quick. And that's all done. Now this one, add placeholder text to a text field. Down here, we have to add a placeholder attribute. Add a placeholder attribute text input element, and then set the value of your placeholder attribute to cat photo URL. So copy that. Come down to our list, which is at the very bottom here. And paste. As you can see, the placeholder text, the text went inside the text input box, and if you type in something into the input box, the text disappears. That is how they do it on websites. Now you know. Click it and go to the next one. Create a form element. The 3 things that we have to do, that's your text element inside the form element. Make sure your form element has an action attribute, which is set to this here. And make sure your form element has a closing tag. So it's going to be down here. And run the test after you get that all done. And it's done. 33. Now, forms. I like to use PHP to process my form data. Typically, what usually happens is when you have a form, you'll have a server to process the code from the form. The server, what we're working on right now is called client-side. It's the client-side languages, and they have languages which they refer as to the server-side languages. And the server-side language that I like to use is PHP. I'm actually learning that through WordPress, and I'm going to learn how to make my own little plugins for WordPress as well. Let's get back to the topic at hand. Add a submit button to the form. The form should have a button inside it. Your submit button should have the attribute type set to the submit. Your submit button should only have the type submit. Make sure your button element has a closing tag. So all we doing is making a button. So As you can see, I typed button right here at first, and I wasn't supposed to do that. I was supposed to type submit. Alright. Okay, the reason I'm having problems is because I forgot what to do. And that happens sometimes. You'll forget what to do. So you come up here and, oh, that's what, I'm supposed to say button instead of input type. So what I'm going to just do is I'm going to copy that. And paste it. There we go. It's good to look over the examples to know exactly what to do. Number 34. Use HTML5 to require a field. Your text input element should have the required attribute. That's all there is to it. 35. Create a set of radio buttons. Come down here. Now we have everything to do. So we need 2 radio buttons. And we wanted to have the name attribute of indoor, outdoor. And they have their own label element. Yeah. Make sure each of the label elements has a closing tag. And one of our radio buttons should have the label indoor. One of them should have the label outdoor. We're gonna come up here to the example to get a get what it's gonna look like. Copy and paste. Name attribute indoor outdoor. That should do it. Yep, that does it. That's numbers 30 through 35. We're doing good on time. Less than 9 minutes. See you next time.